me see my stream. Yeah, OBS was acting up yesterday. That was so annoying, but for the most part, okay. Bolek, give me a mic test, please.
Hi.
There you
How's
go.
everyone doing?
Very good, very good. Okay, your mic sounds fine. Everybody sounds loud on my end, so I'm gonna lower myself, but it's fine. Jimmy, another mic test, please.
Good evening, good afternoon.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Okay, yeah, audio seems fine. So I guess we gotta see who the heck we can grab up in here, and then when away we go, so we can start our little journey. Our little journey, brother. Okay,
This should be fun.
That should be quick. This is another reason why I didn't want to do it the next day, because all of a sudden the people aren't available. It's like, yeah, I know. That's how it goes. That's how it always goes.
I try to be available when I say I'm going to.
Yeah, 19 here. It's my fault for putting it on what you call it. Rumble. I legitimately did not know that the Rumble was the 27th. Like, I forgot. Because I initially anniversary I thought I had it for the 21st, and Jake was like, I thought it was the 27th. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then I was referencing the 18-year anniversary. I noticed that 18-year anniversary was like February 3rd. So I'm like, there is a method to my madness. I think last year I ran into the same problem. I was like, wait a minute, I need to move this week up because it's Rumble. And this week I didn't do that. So whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, sent the thing out. Let me put it here. And let me put it up on the Twitter machine. Let people know about the post-show pod. So yes, this is the OCWFED 19-year anniversary post-show podcast. I mean, but the show was actually last night at 3 p.m. And then we went on to like 7 or 6:30. If you missed it, you can catch it on YouTube, and you can catch it on the replay on Twitch as well. But right now we're talking about the actual show from last night. I hope people took notes. I hope people try to remember. I have head trauma, so things like that are difficult for me. With me today are two rookies because couldn't get anybody else. Let me stop. So we got both members of DNS. And of course, my phone rings when I'm about to do something.
Yeah, his phone rang, so I guess I'll hijack the show here for a minute in DNS style, right, Bolek? So, good afternoon, everybody. I did not get hit on the head, and I did take notes, so hopefully we have a good post-show podcast, I guess since Jay's on the phone.
I'm not on the phone. That's you. I really reached across and fucking threw it to under my under my pillow. But yes.
All right.
We got DNS. Basically, both members of DNS. Well, one of the 7. We have Bash, the leader, and then we have Alexander Bolek, the rookie, who got his ass kicked last night. We'll talk about that later. So first things first, I guess. We're gonna do round robin style, or rather two robin style. So might as well just get that out the way. So let's go with not the introduction package, because that was very simple. But let's talk about the Claude Hall tables match on top of the Claude Hall C-Note match itself. Let's try to wrap them together because there's a lot of content. So we'll start with Bolek, then Jim, and then we can move on. Go, you're up. Bolek, did you die? There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I didn't. Are we gonna talk only about the matches?
Oh no, I just said the hype package and the match. You can wrap it together because they're related.
Oh no, because before this, it was the announcement of the Super S Cup.
Oh yeah, you're right. Good call. Yeah, the announcement of the Women's Super S Cup kicking things off was Emp and Tibble McPibble and Drago Caesar and Trash. I love Trash's theme. It makes me happy because if you listen to the lyrics, it really is just garbage. They announced the Super S Cup, and for clarification purposes, the Super S Cup this year will be a women's only Super S Cup. Sorry. And it's going to be a little bit different. From what I understand, they'll be holding a majority of the matches on the forthcoming Turmoils and Riots. So mathematically, that's something like 3 to 4 Super S Cup women's matches per show for the next 4 to 5 weeks. And then at ODG on Deadly Ground, which I believe will be either the end of February or the beginning of March. I'm not sure. Don't remember. Got to check. We'll have the finals, and the finals will be The winner will become the first ever OCW Pride champion, or the OCW first women's Pride champion. I prefer women's Pride; sounds nicer. Rolls off the tongue a little bit more dramatically. So yeah, that's as far as that goes on the Super S Cup. So booking wanted to bring the S Cup back, and then they opted for a all female one because number one, it's never been done, and number two, the women's division is been bumping lately, so might as well play to it. And then on the other hand, there's a lot of people wanted some time to kind of breathe, and now they get to breathe. So there you go. There's that. So with that being said, I guess we'll take it to Jim, then Bolek regarding that. Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, speaking to the Drago and to Tiberius Dupree opener, I couldn't get that one out of my mouth there. I liked their entrance. I thought it was really cool. Kind of the way that the art meshed together, and the song was very Melonish, in terms of like what Melon likes, what he posts all the time. So I like that. Like you said, Spider's song coming out with Emp was really good. The S Cup thing's really cool. I wish I had a female character right now because that sounds like a lot of fun. And overall, the announcement was what you expected, and it should be a really interesting time with the women's S Cup, and just like you said, over the next couple of weeks, what that's going to shape up to, and seeing the entire women's division kind of featured. So overall, love the announcement, the fact that we kicked the show off with that, and I'll turn it over to Bolek.
Yes, I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen with that. The women's roster is pretty stacked, so it's good to have another title for them. And yeah, it's gonna be amazing to see what happens.
Yeah, I haven't decided if it's going to be 8 or if we're going to do 8 or 10. I think it was 8, but I'm not sure. I have to check. Look, there's a lot of moving parts, as you know. So yeah, and we do know one participant will be Emp, which is great. I mean, fuck her, but whatever. She won. I think they asked her, like, do you want to be in? She's like, yes. Okay, good. I hope you get smashed all those times, asshole. Anyway, now we can move on to the table hype package, which is basically Claude Hall versus C-Note. Me personally, I like the build. The build to the match is good. I was iffy on the table stuff. I initially pitched them a ladder. They opted to have a table match because the whole thing with the tables was kind of tantamount to what happened regarding the actual match. When I watched it the first time to do the commentary with Jake, I was a bit annoyed because I felt like they were kind of prolonging it. But then I realized watching it back in the live stream, that they actually went to go find the table, and unfortunately, when I was putting together that arena, that wasn't my first, because you can set that up to put stuff there. I didn't set it up, so when they went there, nothing was there. Shit, and they had to go all the way back. So that's on me. That's not on them. That being said, actually, once that part was taken out of my head, the match was actually pretty good. Table physics are weird, as you know, and as we saw further later on in the show. All in all, didn't hate the match. I liked it. The whole switcheroo and if people saying La Prince Mamau, that's what you get for doing that. Nice little reveal, nice little character change up. Claude Hall playing it off later on, which we'll probably talk about briefly, was good. A good solid feud. Like we have these, but every now and again we get good, relatable, solid pro wrestling feuds. This thing has been going on for a while. It's been going on for weeks. I specified I wanted this on 19 months ago or weeks ago, whatever the timetable was, just because the fact that usually people want to kind of let's have our match, and I'm like, no, let it breathe. So it breathed, and now there's another factor to it. If Claude would have won, he would have had the contract, would have been great. But he lost, so now they gotta still keep dancing with each other. Nature of the beast. So we'll do now it's we'll do Jim Bolek.
All right. So, I was actually kind of critical of their feud earlier in the year, last year, with some of the stuff they did. If you remember, the brick thing. And
we don't talk about the brick thing.
Talked about that, but they did a great job. You're right, it was a great pro wrestling feud. It just continually got better in terms of the segments they were doing. So put a lot of effort into that whole Book of Six thing, and just playing up his heel. I guess pompousness is the word I'll use. The Toronto bougie or whatever you want to call it, right? Um, so he did a really great job of that, and it made me more invested in seeing Claude come back because I got to be honest with you. In the beginning of this, I was like, "Oh, Claude's an asshole. Like, I don't like him. Like, you know what I mean?" Now I'm invested in seeing Claude get a contract. As a fan, they hooked me into him being a babyface, right? Which is exactly what they were trying to accomplish there. So I thought they accomplished the goal there first. You know, just talking about like the feud as a whole.
Mhm.
Now the hype package I thought was great because it wasn't super long and it was very subtle in a lot of ways, right? Um, and then going into the match itself, the match did run a little long, but I really enjoyed the match. I think that these two are kind of a great contrast of styles. You know, Claude's a little bit more powerful, whereas Cena is a little bit more shifty and athletic in the way that he uses his moveset. Uh, you did screw them with the table thing because I know they were looking for a table because that was the first thing I was thinking when they went over there, and I'm like, hey, usually isn't there weapons over there usually? But there was nothing. So they did manage to recover, and it's unfortunate that Cena kept Claude from getting his contract, from a heel perspective. But like you said, they got to continue that story, and I think springboarding later on, Cena got involved in the world title match, which didn't go well for him in the end. So that kind of left him somewhere to continue going. Now that he's not the future investment, briefcase holder any longer. So he still has something to pivot to and continue working with. So that was a great job of him positioning himself as the briefcase holder too, and to be able to go to his next story, continue a story that he was still writing while he was the briefcase holder. So great job all around.
Boleki, you're up.
Uh, yeah, like has already been said, this rivalry didn't start pretty good. Um, but they've been doing some great job every week with all the promos and segments, and I was excited to see this match. Hype package was good. I like it. And the match itself, I pretty much liked it. I get what you say about they they taking too much time, but I mean it is what it is, and I rather see that than just a 5 minutes ladder match, because that's how it goes with this game. You can win a table match in 2 minutes. So I was pretty happy. Um, I want to see what happens next with Cloud Hall, and yeah, it was great.
Like, is Claude gonna come begging to you, like Jay, for like his job? Like, he doesn't have to be C Note's butler anymore, or something like that. Like, is this gonna happen? Like, because as a fan, like that's what I'm thinking's next, right? Like, he's got to figure out a way out of being C Note's butler.
I
I mean,
mean,
he already
no,
did.
no, he ain't figured shit out. He's stuck. That's what it was about. That we got to figure out. They got to figure out what to do, but can't help him. That's not my problem anymore right now, unless he thinks of something clever. At the moment, as we say, he is what you call asked out. Uh, moving moving right along. Let's see. I'm using the playlist from last night to go. We have a Marissa segment which has 300 hits on the YouTube. So shout out for Marissa with the side boob, I guess. I like the use of the all these custom what you call it backstage things. That was nice. A nice little whatever. They're all it feels very 90s WWE where everyone has their own kind of thematic thing to their merchandise and stuff. So I appreciated that. Any thoughts on this segment?
Yeah, I really appreciated the segment. I thought, first of all, I I don't know how Marissa gets away with these like outfits. They're towing the line every week almost. It seems like, uh, but she does a good job. She definitely brings the views. I guess we'll
Well,
call
this
that
week.
the the young male crowd. I
Oh my
guess we'll call that,
goodness.
right.
Uh,
But the story that's being planted here after she lost to Joanna is actually really interesting. I think this is what intrigues me. Like, she seems, have you noticed that like she's dropped the Welch Mac thing
yep.
and she just wants to be called Marissa? So like Iceman gets hurt. Mad Dog, by the way, hurts Iceman. I'm gonna take credit for that. DNS go, even though boo, I love Iceman. Um,
Mm.
you know, okay, so he gets hurt, and then all of a sudden she drops the last name. Like, there's something fishy going on there, and she was outside of different people's locker rooms. So, like, I think there's some what's the term? I guess we'll use some hoeing afoot here
Wow, that's not
potentially.
nice.
So, so
She's a
I'm actually
toxin.
really, really intrigued to see what Marissa does next.
Bolek.
Yeah, pretty much what Jimmy said. I'm excited to see what she does next because she's great and Riot is great. So yeah,
Okay,
All
excited.
right, there we go. I was waiting for the it's great.
it's
Okay,
great.
I had to get that
All right.
during the podcast.
Next up, I'm sorry, North American Championship three-way between Victor Carmine, Mad Dog, aka Coco Davis, and Isu. I enjoyed this match. I put it number 2 because as I said in the initial viewing of the tables match, I was annoyed, so I wanted something to basically get back the hype or whatever. So this was the idea because I figured this would be a good with everybody involved. Um, like I said, Coco being greasy and catching L's left and right made me happy. Tighten it up, Coco, a little bit. Right the ship. Overall fun match, great finish. The hype package, as I was calling Jake, is very Daniel Day Lewis-ish. He had to do 3 hype packages for the show, and all 3 I think delivered on different thematic fronts. So I appreciated that. But yes, overall fun match. Victor won, solidifying the North American Championship. He's actually just opted into it and has been running rampant for a while. So I'd love to see it. We'll do Bolek. Then Jimmy, go ahead.
I was very mad with this match. Because of Mad Dog losing. But yeah, high package was pretty good, pretty solid. I really really liked it. Um, the story about the teacher and the student, and now this rookie coming and being in the match and whatever. The match itself, it was really good. I mean, we knew Mad Dog was gonna be in a hard spot because obviously these fuckers will team up on him. Um, but yeah, he was very close to winning it, and I'm happy for him. But I obviously hate that he didn't win,
These
and I
fuckers,
think
really?
Carmine looks, yeah, and Carmine looks even more stupid than ever. So
Jim.
Yeah. So to piggyback on that, Bash and Bolek both have history with Carmine and Isu, so that's why they're these fuckers. That's why we call them. So, let's start there.
yeah,
Secondly, they definitely, like, to start the match went right after Mad Dog, which makes perfect sense because Mad Dog was the heel in this situation, and it's a triple threat situation where you have 2 guys who are considered baby faces that have a relationship, that were trying to have an honorable title feud, and then Mad Dog broke up their title match, right? So it makes perfect sense at the beginning of the match, first of all. I think Mad Dog had a little bit of rookie inexperience in some of those spots where he kind of got his ass kicked a little bit for a little while. And it was pretty evident early on that it was, they were trying to get him out of the way and make it that Isu versus Carmine match. And they did for a little while. Mad Dog came back in and he hit a couple of big time spots, including an atomic dog, which he nearly stole it with. But I got to tell you, the way that the match ended, I thought it was one of those perfect triple threat matches, like the perfect ending. The guy gets hit, thrown out, who does effect, and then it's over, right? Like, and it just the ending spot was perfect for me for the match. I thought the feud went really, really well. I try to contribute, even though that weirdo Victor Carmine is still the champion, stalker guy. Unfit champion, still champion, but I guess it happens. He talked a bunch of smack about DNS and Bash and all that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, that finish was very monumental. Pop me huge, brother. Pop me huge. Okay, moving right along, we have looks like let me see in my playlist. What we got on my playlist? Oh, there's a match. What's up? Next one. Da-da-da. Oh, the cameo thing. Like I said before, didn't hate it, but this should have not needed to be almost 4 minutes. We could have got this done within, I don't know, like 2. Would have been more more succinct. I don't really want to discuss any more other than because my thing is this is gonna just give people the idea. Oh, I will do it, and I don't want to see it. Like it was okay with Deborah like once. I don't want to see fucking outside shit being referenced because then I'm gonna stop referencing it. So we're gonna move past that, and then we're gonna go to the next segment, which is the who's coming out. Let me check my little playlist. Oh yeah. Oh, the one match that broke the meta, which people couldn't get. There's no hype package for the Bolek Talos match, so boo to you guys.
Dang.
You fucked it up. If y'all would have did, y'all would have got an award on the new forum, because it would have been every match had a hype package, every match except this match. So well, y'all fucked up. Anyway, history was good. Liked it. Told a good story. Fucking Talos powering up and beating the dog shit out of Bolek, only for Bolek to Bolek up and almost come back and then still eat shit at the very end. Really good. I liked it. Like I said, it told a good story. It told rookie resilience. And again, thank God for super finishers next season. So that's gonna be fun. So we'll do Jim and then Bolek because Bolek's actually in this match. Go for it, Bolek. I mean, go for it, Jim. Sorry.
So Bolek and Mad Dog cost me like $50K yesterday. First of all, okay, I'm gonna get that out there. I still love you guys, but you cost me like $50K yesterday. Okay, so it wasn't a good day for my pockets. Well, that's the first thing we're gonna start with. Second thing was Talos actually absolutely beat the dog shit out of Bolek in the beginning of this match. This was like
the beginning and the middle.
Yeah, it was terrible. This looked like my debut match for the offline for a few minutes. Where Victor Carmine ran me around the ring for 8 minutes straight. But look, once Bolek started kind of picking it back up, he kind of played like that old like, oh, I'm a babyface that's going to get crushed by this huge heel, even though that's not their like situations, in terms of what actually happened, right? But like in the match itself. And then he started to come back and he started to get his moves and he hit a few things, but it was just too little too late. He hit that one. I believe he hit a finisher and then Talos came up and just
no, he didn't hit the Bolek thing. It only takes one. He hit his thing. I think he had to
he reversed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was starting to come back, but then it was lights out. I mean, it was a dominant performance by Talos. I think Talos has been a different character since Tony Everett absolutely snatched his soul for the International Championship a couple months ago. So I've seen a lot more aggression in the ring from Talos in that respect. I think that he probably learned from that and is kind of moving forward. And I mean, it's a big kind of stamp for Talos moving forward. I think it brings a natural conclusion to Talos and Bolek and what they've been doing over the course of probably the last year, right? And overall, I didn't hate the match. I would have loved it to be more competitive, as I'm sure my counterpart Bolek here would have loved to. But sometimes it's just what happens, and you got to roll with it.
I mean, before Bolek, my broadcast partner was very enamored with Talos's performance or Talos's competitive whatever. He's like, where the fuck has this guy been hiding? No, I think the fact that it was like this very one-sided thing is what helped the match stand out and be just rather than just another like whatever. Like all the matches I think delivered on some front. So this was one of them that that was exciting, especially for the predictors or the gamblers that were watching because it was like, oh, it's a lock for Tell. And then once fucking Bolek decided to summon the spirit of non-racist Hulk Hogan at the very the last 5 minutes, it was fantastic. He's like, that's not going to work for me, El Hermano.
Yeah, for real. And shout out to IJ for his work too. Like, hands on
oh my God. The work he does. So. Yeah. I think the whole theme of this thing was people trying to Hulk up and then basically just like getting done with a signature after kicking out of fucking 2 finishers. Make the signatures great, man. Everyone's signatures is powered up. Now, Bolek, you may comment on your ass whooping.
Oh man. I don't know where to start.
Hit me with the it was great.
No, this was
It
not
was
great.
this is
No.
not great. This is not great at all. This is bad. This is not good.
Okay. Man, I don't even know where to start. Okay. Yeah, he beat my ass. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, and it be like that sometimes. This is obviously not how I wanted this match to be. Not because I lost, but because of the way I lost. Um, but I'm happy for him. He's been doing great lately, and now he has a lot of momentum. So I hope he used it and do something good. Um,
Yeah.
about mm, about not having a high package. Um, well, I didn't ask him if he wanted one or if he will do one, and I didn't do it because I didn't think all the matches would have a high package, and I'm pretty bad
Yeah.
at it. So I said, okay, there's gonna be great high packages like the Owen Sheldon one and the Empress and all this stuff, and I said, okay, no, I'm just gonna leave it like this. And yeah, but
And
everyone had
that was a mistake.
high packages.
Yep.
Yeah,
Even
one more-
Horse. Go ahead.
yeah, I know.
One more thing.
Yeah, I need to
Underrated,
practice more.
underrated Twitch chat moment is when I activated the no sell.exe when you started no selling his finishers.
Yeah, that was. Oh my god. You know what it is, like, the people have a habit of doing the two back to back. We've seen it twice on the pay per view, and then we see it every now and again on the weekly shows. Like, whenever you hit two back to back, they're generally just, it's not gonna do anything. They're just gonna always fucking kick out. So at least now, in season 19, you have super finishers, so you can just hit one and pretty much be done. It's gonna be interesting to see how that works with the dynamic in OCW.
I'm hoping it helps the match flow and makes the matches feel a little bit more like we ain't like big move hunting constantly. You know what I mean? Make them feel more special. You know?
Yeah, we have to see. We'll have to see what happens, because, like, on the one hand, if we quick meta moment, on the one hand, if we slow down the rate of finishers to build up to that big super finisher, great. But you also have to make sure that they're not gonna fucking kick out of it. So that means that I'm sure you animals would be like, I have to stun him because he's gonna reverse it, and then I don't know what to do. So we'll see, because you people can have nothing nice. This is why we have these rules. Anyway, that was a fun match. I enjoyed it. I don't have a rating for it yet. I stopped my ratings because I'm overwhelmed with stuff. Moving on, a commercial. Moving on. Oh yeah, Hall of Fame, Jordan. Neither of you really have any context for Jordan. All I'll say is this is well deserved. Jordan's been here since 2014, but the Jordan character didn't really come to prominence till the Renaissance era, which you guys weren't a part of because you weren't here back then. That was when we came back in late 2015, and we had, like, basically it was like all of the rookies, all of the people now who are legends, and then even other legends from back then, like people you don't know, like Versus Steve, etc. So it was a very interesting time. A lot of chaotic FPR. Like, there was a lot of FPR problems, especially just on PS4, but I digress. Either way, shout out to Jagana, and actually takes us to our next thing, which is the international package and segment. So the international thing, incredibly well done. Very, very sports-based presentation. I loved it a lot. It gave history and credence to all of the international champions. Well, not all of them, but most of them, at least in the modern era, leading up until this match with Sheldon Tremblay and Owen. Match itself was really more of a segment, but again, a good story. I like it. If to give a little context, I spoke about it briefly, but I guess I'll just give everybody the Iggy now instead, and maybe bring it back up later on at the whatever. Actually, no, maybe I'll save it. Long story. All right, no. Long story short, Sheldon and Owen were going to be a part of. We'll talk about it later. Also, we're going to be a part of actually the initial main event prior to Aries leaving or being released, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, flaking. I don't know. So yeah. So since that didn't happen, and Sheldon is international champion, like, I'm not gonna have that 2 belt bullshit. So it's like, this is the next best thing. So they opted to do this instead of an actual match. Obviously, it was cleared ahead of time. Makes sense. Give them more time to build up. I like it. Told a great story. Jake, legitimately, as I said, I told Owen to make sure the video was match length so that no one would be the wiser. Like last time when there was a segment with the Parker thing and Amart, and it was, a 5-minute video, and I was trying to like lie to Jake and I couldn't get over it in time. I couldn't, like, basically I was like, hey, did you get the right video? And he's like, yeah, I did. I'm like, no, this one is like 10 minutes. He's like, no, I got the 5-minute one. I was like, fuck. Anyway, so this time we worked that mark. He was visibly upset, like legit, like he was, upset. It was great. Hi, Melon. He was, he got worked. It was great. Like Bolek would say. So told a good story. Got emotions, people. It livened up the viewing party. I liked it. Pretty much summed it up. So we'll do Snake is Bolek, and then Jim, go.
Yeah, I liked it too. Now Owen is a heel. I was kind of expecting to see Fraser come out. It didn't happen, and we'll see what happened next.
Jimmy.
Yeah, so to piggyback on what Bullock just said, I think Frazier may potentially play a factor later on in this feud. I think it's a little early to kind of shoot that shot, if you know what I mean. They had enough impact on the card itself. Now I'm upset, like Jake was, that we didn't actually get to see the match because I've watched quite a bit of the Sanctum run, on YouTube and stuff like that, even though I wasn't here. And they were a dominant faction. They were really good, right? For where they were in the card and what they did, and they ran with the tag team titles and mid card titles and stuff like that. And it was really, just a good run for them. So I am quite excited to see when Owen and Sheldon finally do kind of get it across. And I guess Owen shedding this kind of like babyface persona of like, I'm the great hope against Aries, and then he loses and he becomes bitter. And of course Sheldon's always been Kid Icarus and like, the prodigy and the whole thing, and like he's like basically the OCW equivalent of like Randy Orton, the youngest world champion, lost it once, like, but has a bright future. Like I think that's like a great way of kind of comparing it, right? And like, just being the thorn in his side and on his way up. Like Sheldon's made it pretty clear that like he wants to regain that OCW World Championship at some point, even though he's already the international champion. I know Jay doesn't do the Parkados straps thing, but
We're not doing
maybe
that.
eventually there's a time or a place where that happens for him as well. So I think that bottom line, these guys have built it probably, if not the most incredible story that moving forward of what I want to see, one of the best things or one of the things I'm looking forward to the most, right? I felt robbed and they better rectify it.
Well, that's the beauty of things like this. This basically cements a. Shut up, Michael. This basically cements a pay-per-view slot. So things to think about from the learning tree. That's how you do it, basically. Moving along, what's on the playlist we have? Oh yes, the green bar thing. Oh yes, now we have the tag team. The tag team build and feud for the OCW Tag Team Championships. A little history lesson. We'll start with we'll do round snake. We'll do Jim and then there's only two people here, Jim and Bolek. Sorry, go ahead, Jim. Fuck, my brain don't work. I'm
All
tired.
right. So the way that I looked at this, I love the tag team build. So we worked with John and Jamie when DNS did the hard target tag team match, and they're really good to work with, and they have really great ideas, like all of that stuff, right? But I was kind of surprised, to be honest with you. The hype package was good. It was well put together. I thought it kind of brought together, and I really liked the song that was in it. By the way, I don't know who the artist was, but the song that was in it was really good. And just kind of the way that it built up all of the different characters and their affiliations to one another. It's like John tried to do that in the hard target package that he did. It didn't like quite hit, but they did a great job this time. Um, of hitting that, where like Derek and Chance and Jordan and John and all of the inner workings and the things and how kind of like I guess, Aries was involved in that or whatever it was, right? So it did a great job, especially if you're, been here a little longer than Bolek and myself, kind of pulling back in past lore, right, as well, when it built to this match and the disdain they had. The match itself, I thought was a really good match. I honestly thought early on, Great and Glory, I'm looking at it like the way they started this match. I'm like, oh, we're looking at the new tag team champions. And I even thought walking into this thing, I bet on Future Idiots because they were the underdogs, by the way. But I thought going into it, and especially as the way the match started, that the way that John got blitzed in the beginning, he was like yellow, red. Everybody, like, there was not even a yellow, or there was like one yellow on the other side. Jordan came in, he stabilized things, and then John and Jordan actually did a great job of tag team wrestling, where they kept going back and forth, and John would only come in for short stints so he wouldn't get isolated and pinned or, that type of thing. And they went back and forth. Derek hit a couple of finishers, and it was close. But in the end, John and Jordan went back and forth. They did what they needed to do to retain the tag team titles. And then Mass Effect, who formerly part of the GSS. I'm not sure how that's working these days. But Mass Effect shows up on the scene, and they are probably outside of Perfect Storm, the only other active tag team that hasn't really had a shot at the Future Idiots. And I think they stuck their claim where they planted their flag, and they want to be the next tag team champions. So Ryvon and Devin Flash, who's another awesome rookie. I think you're going to see them challenge the Future Idiots next, which is exciting because Mass Effect has been doing great work for the last 7-8 months now.
Yeah. I feel like time just flies, but yeah, something about around that time, maybe 4 or 5, but it's been a minute. Bolek.
Yeah, High Package was really good. The match itself, it was really liked it. I like the entrances. The Future Idiots cosplaying as Lucha Country. That was really fun.
I forgot to mention the Lucha Idiots. That's
Oh,
good call,
that fucking took me out, as you heard on commentary.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, match was really good. You can sense both of these teams know each other. Like, they know their partners. They are really tag team players. So it was amazing. I was betting for Glitz and Glory, but they didn't win. And I'm just happy that even if there's teams losing, there's still a lot of teams that can challenge for the belts. Because I remember a few months ago, I think it was around Lucian time, I said there was no teams, really. And now there's like 8, and they all can challenge for the belts. So that's good to see. And Future Idiots are building a really nice reign. I mean, they've been champions for 200 plus days. So that's something, And I'm excited to see what happens next. Maybe with Mass Effect or Perfect Storm, the Believers. Who knows?
Seems most tag teams usually last like a year as tag champions. That's like I feel like that's like the theme for the past couple of seasons for the most part. So yeah, so we just see what happens with the tag division as it evolves and more teams. And now we have the lobby entering the fray. We'll see what happens with that shit. Moving on, who else we got? On Deadly Ground. That's the next pay-per-view. Fuck you, TNA. I can also name my pay-per-views after Steven Seagal movies as well, and Van Damme movies. You son of a bitches. So that should be exciting. We already have one match announced, which is the International Championship, assuming Sheldon can walk again. Moving along. Wait, I think I just skipped a video. Let me go back on the playlist. Oh, whoops! What did I do? I think yeah. Hold on. Let's see
the
what
Jinx and Scotty X video. We didn't comment.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just pulling it up right now. Scotty X DNX. It's a DNS segment. You guys fucking figure it out. Who wants to talk about it?
All right.
Bash?
I mean, Jinx did a good job. He put together most of that segment. Helped him with some of the Scotty stuff, but Overall, the idea is like, honestly, there's not much in terms of pure Xbox handlers. Scotty being one, Jinx being the other, one of the other ones. So it's like trying to keep these guys in the mix with one another. And Jinx just concluded a pretty successful feud with Paul Harris that fell just short of being on this card. So they're kind of trying to build something up between them. And Scotty has a very interwoven past with DNS and some of the things in terms of where my character personally, even like I had a match with him on Ambition, and then that's when my character kind of shifted and we kind of went towards DNS versus Mr. Mario Bash that I debuted with, for example. So there's kind of some elements there that we'll continue to build on, I'm sure. And they're just trying to feel each other out, and Jinx kind of spooked Scotty, and Scotty ran off. So that was that.
I like the whole idea of Scotty not getting to speak. That's gonna be a gimmick that you should probably work with, because fucking writing is hard. Did you want to add anything, or is it just great? Bolek, is it good?
It was great
You
watching Scotty running.
Yeah.
That should be new merch. It's great. And then on the back it says,
Yeah,
"But not you." Whatever. What's the next segment? Hey, just give him some ideas.
You gave me an idea.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome. I do this often. People listen to me. Good things happen. Yes, Claude Hall. Shout out to the fucking Academy Award winner for this fucking emotional turmoil. I can't believe it. My life is over. I didn't listen to it in post. I was watching it on the show, and I was like, damn, you really put it into it. He was like, yeah, that's not AI voice. He's like, I hate my life. I can't believe it, dude. Oh, my life is over. That's what you get, man. I didn't want you to fight, and you went, look at it, you all fucked up. He got band-aids on his face. He's all messed up. He's like, my life is over. I have to get. Oh no! And the little dance, well, you can't do shit with the animations, but yeah, he's shout out to the trainer with the nice boots, I guess. Bo was like, oh, he's cute. Fucking nasty work, but yeah, man, nice haircut. Claude Hall's life is over. Congrats, C-Note. You ruined another handler. I don't know what to add. We'll do Bolek and fucking Jim go.
Yeah, it was a funny segment. Nothing else to comment.
Shouldn't really be funny. It should be sad.
Or get fucked. I mean, it was funny, man.
C-Note in the back. Get fucked, nerd. What the hell what the fuck is Adam talking about? End drops? That was an end drop. Anyway, Jim, you're up. And end drop is, I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's amazing.
All right. So if I'm Claude, I once tried to sue Mr. Sensation using.
It's not my fault.
Okay. So I'm thinking.
That's nasty.
Zeno lives in Canada. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that Canada is against indentured servitude or slavery.
Law.
You know what I mean? So there might be some legal bounds, or some grounds, I should say, to challenge this stipulations ruling in court or something of that nature. If I'm just kind of like thinking about that situation, but to be honest with you, the whole emotion, like people don't really do a lot of voice promos, and emotion is kind of hard to replicate. People, I know that when I do my bash promos, sometimes my kids will be like coming in the room and be like, what's going on?
You're like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
So like,
Daddy's playing D&D.
Yeah, exactly. Like getting that emotion and stuff like that into it, So the Academy Award worthy performance for sure, and I appreciated it because I think it's something that is hard to do and not a lot of people can do. And when you can, it's great that you can take advantage of that, right? Like, Jake, for example, handles Deborah. Like, Jake's not going to be a female voice that's going to give some like breakdown, for example, or any of some of these other characters that have male handlers, for example, right? So it was a great opportunity. Glad that he was able to do it. And overall, like I said before, I'm very interested to see now that C-Note and Claude are kind of joined at the hip and what they come up with next.
Well said. And fucking Adam. No, it's called you nerd. It's what you call it. It's it's what's it called? D&D, you freak. How about this, Adam? Won't you roll five for initiative and go fuck yourself? How about that? Anyway, moving on. Making me with his horse, with his garbage. Gonna call us digital by digital these nuts, my mouse. Speaking of digital, well, non-digital, Chris Baxter's back. Yay. Nice heartwarming moment. At least for me. Y'all really don't have much Chris Baxter, whatever, but he's like an OG from 2000. I think he joined 2006. So it's nice to see him back. Funny thing is, Baxter wound up submitting, you know how they do the IG videos? That's the vertical videos. He had a vertical video to promote that he was coming back, and I just didn't use it because why do that when you just have a surprise? So even legends sometimes need a reminder of how things work. I enjoyed it. I will just leave it at that because again, you guys really don't have much context about it. So hopefully, back stuff is situated and we can get some more rated R pirate bullshit in the booty. What? Go ahead.
Well, I am familiar with that from the Cutlass reunion from Lucian I saw as well, a little bit. So it's nice to see, and I remember talking to her, her a little bit about the whole entire thing. That they've been here quite a while, so like since the beginning. So it's always awesome to see that someone's in and out, and they're able to come back after so long, and continue to be a part of the community. So it's awesome.
I saw the Tron video too. The Tron video too is actually really nice. It's like the legend gold and blue. So shout out to that. Didn't even know that was in the game. Yeah. I gotta ask what the fuck that is, cause shit. Anyway, next video. What do we have? Oh yes, Emp versus Tiffany.
I'm sorry, boss. I am.
I hate this bitch, man.
No, it's so funny. You hate her so much, but I admire her so much.
Oh God.
I really do. I really do. She is great.
I admire the fact that she did a video. I didn't expect the hype package for this. So when there was a hype package for this and everything else, I'm like, oh man, Taylor and Bolek really did fuck up. Because this is a match I was not. I don't know how she did it, but she actually gave a video to this, and it makes sense. But yes, what you call it? Historically, Tiffany's only been a background character. She actually had more than one match, but I can literally only remember the one, and it was at Lucian. I don't even think it was Lucian. I think it might have been Lucian Prime, and it was I said Alex Reynolds and Richards. It might have been Reynolds. Basically, it was a GM character at the time. We had a female GM, and she wound up feuding with like the Ortizes and the OCW thing, and that's what that came down to. As a matter of fact, it might have been more than one. It might have been.
So it's funny. I was talking to Max the other night.
Yeah.
And we were just going through, and it's funny because he pulled that. He said Lucian 10 was the last time.
Yeah, that's what I said. Lucian 10. And then subsequent to that, she's been in videos like Russ. I'm not videos. She's been in RPs. Like Russ referenced a few of them. One of them regarding having Danny barbecue or some shit like that. Don't tell Colin. And then prior to that, she's always been like a background character in like certain role plays or whatever. Leading from 2000 whatever up. I mean, the alternative to that was Birdie, but then I would have to play as Birdie, and I'm not fucking playing this game because I'm not that good. Emp would have whooped my ass for sure. And I'm not having that on my conscience. I don't need that kind of energy in my life. Anyway, that being said, Magic did what it had to do. Basically brought more women to the forefront. Nice, I'd appreciate fucking tuning up Tiffany with the goddamn chair, but of course she's an asshole. That's what she does. Again, when she hit the super kick, and me and Jake at the same time lost our minds because Jake knows and I know that sensation. That's the original whatever. And I was like, if you call it Riptide, you're a fucking idiot. And then people in the chat, that's the right after I right before I said it, and then because you're dumb. Like again, if you didn't know, here's the history. I used to use that like from 06 to fucking I don't know, maybe 016 or whatever. I use it for 05, whatever.
16.
It's a long time. I've used it like fucking almost 20 years. And then when H2O came, he goes, hey, I know that you have a super. Can I use that? Like, of course. I don't fucking fight. I don't care. Go. And then the Riptide. It's fine. So just so you know, when anyone else uses it, that's not what it is. So know your history, you fucking nerds. God damn it. So if you call it, like I said, if you call it Riptide, you're a effing idiot. And of course, but that's the Riptide. I knew it. Idiots.
Hey, look, it's our world champion. Hey, how you doing?
It's the Riptide. We smoking on that Tiffany pack.
Don't make me set this to 3 so you can get out of here,
Don't be
nerd.
rude to me.
Anyway, okay, so we will do Bolek, Jimmy, and if you're staying, El Brian.
If I'm allowed to stay, I will.
You could stay. Just don't have your horrible, wrong opinions about the Riptide, and we're good.
I'm definitely okay. You know, that's fair. I can concede with that one.
So, Jimmy, so Bolek first.
Yeah. High package was good. I didn't know even about the existence of Tiffany. So I was supporting Emp,
Piece of shit.
as I always do. I don't care. And it was a pretty good match. I actually liked it. I thought you were gonna be the one playing. Then I saw it was Nate. So I said, okay, it's gonna be a good match. Yeah. It had some good moments. At first, Tiffany was getting her ass whooped, but then she had a little comeback and then died in a great way. It was a great finish, a great match, and I really, really liked it. And I want to see what comes next.
Jimmy.
All right. So, I went back and kind of skimmed a bit for Tiffany a little bit, kind of saw what she was about, and saw that she wasn't, much of a foreground character, she was much of a background character, right? So I thought that this was interesting. I guess it makes sense, in terms of the Sensation bloodline where Emp could fight someone. So I think that made sense, it being Nate's wife now. Where this goes from here in terms of the long-standing now blood feud between Emp and Mr. Sensation is my question. Like, how does this escalate? Also, that's Nate's wife. Like, is Nate gonna take that thing down? Like, is he gonna be?
He can't hit a woman. You can't hit a woman. I mean, you could, but
I mean, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have friends and deep pockets or whatever else may be, right? Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this. Emp obviously is going to be in this women's S Cup, as she said in the first segment. So I think that's kind of a natural way that she's trying to stick it to you, is just, by winning that championship and flaunting. And, trying to take it to Lucian and main event Lucian, because that's what Emp wants from you, is she wants to main event Lucian, and she's not going to stop until she gets it from you. Now, whether you're going to give it to her or not is going to be an entirely different question that only you can answer. So that is the question that I leave you with.
Yeah. Well, also before we go to O'Brien, don't forget that this also brought us the return of not only Heather Angelo, but also Blaine, which took a hot second because of the hair. Jake kind of knew because no one told us. So Jake kind of had an idea. Like, wait, that can't. And then I was like, but the hair. But I guess, it's a long time. You ain't going to have the same hair because it's whatever. So Blaine came back too. So we actually have two. We have Heather Angelo and Blaine and Emp. So those are two potential people that could be in the Super S Cup. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But yes, many stories moving the women's division is as the kids say, popping. El Brian.
So I'm a little bit torn on this story, if I'm being honest with you. I think pretty much everything Emp does, she really has like the Midas touch that, she can make shit into gold. As much as I'm sure, Jay, you're probably not going to like it. One of the big reasons why I honestly was pretty checked out for the match itself is because kind of what you and Jimmy had already mentioned, Tiffany was very much like a background character for when she was in OCW. And I just feel if I was playing fantasy booker and, mind you, fantasy, like I think there was probably one person that I would have preferred over this is I would have loved to see Tara return to, try and exact revenge on Emp, strictly because kind of like how you did the one Lucian where you called Emp and you were like, hey, do this one match. And, we kind of have that like sensational crane where it's like, okay, we're bringing, Tara back because, Mr. Sensation is so tired of it. But I understood, it's Emp versus a Sensation bloodlines, kind of like what Jimmy said. And I think the call looks good. So kudos to whoever made the call. I just don't think for the current standing of OCW that Tiffany wasn't very relevant. Like, it very much looked like a lamb out to slaughter. And like, I know, you know, what we'll always say is comp. Anyone can win at any given time. But for me, it was just like, all right, this is just a stepping stone to a grander scheme of what we're going to get to. Obviously, that kind of was already revealed as early, you know, right as the show began. Emp was like, oh, well, haha, joke's on you. My announcement's bigger. I'm going to be in the S Cup. And like Jimmy said, you know, she's obviously trying to get this Lucian main event. She's obviously trying to stick it to you, make your life a living hell. So, like, there's really good parts on it. I just think it was one of those feuds where, well, this part of the feud, you know, this arc was kind of like a filler where it's like, okay, we got to get from, you know, C to D. Let's do this. Like, if Tiffany were to stick around, right, I think that would be more interesting to me as a fan, because then that way, okay, well, how does Tiffany take this away? Like, what is her standing after this? You know, like, how does she feel? What is she going through afterward, right? Like, similar to how Jimmy said, like, you know, this is Nate's wife. This is Mr. Sensation's daughter-in-law, you know, like, well, daughter, you know, so it's just, to me, there's a lot of room to where I think more growth can be had. And the double return with Heather and Blaine, it really gave me AEW Revolution vibes, where, you know, you have Heather coming back and just fucking up Emp, which was, you know, that was tremendous. Like, I loved that. That's, you know, continuation of Emp trying to murder her when she was Furiosa. But when you bring Blaine back into it, it kind of murkies the water a little bit to me, because it's like, oh, okay, like, Blaine's on the side of Emp. Are we going to get a tag match, or are we just going to, you know, is the Super S Cup just going to be kind of like another arc for them? Like, are we going to see all three of these women in the S Cup, and then, you know, maybe Blaine, God knows, right? Maybe Blaine just sits there and helps Emp get to the finals. You know, maybe Heather gets to the finals and Heather gets her revenge by, you know, she had already been women's champion. Well, I want to be the first women's pride champion. So there's a lot of, for me, just unanswered stuff that I trust the greater community, and Emp especially, to, you know, let it unfold in a good way. So I will trust the process.
It basically comes down to you got to wait and see. And as far as the Tiffany thing goes, that was already done. That was done like fucking, I think, September.
I totally get it. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, Emp is, you know, Emp tells her stories very methodically. So I'm sure she reached out to Nate, you know, in a very timely manner, like, hey, listen, I want to do this. It was nice to see, you know, Nate back competing. Although it's not Nate Ortiz, you know, it was nice to see him back. So it's nice to see that he's doing well and he's able to get on the game and do his thing. So, you know, I'm more so, I'm just hoping that we see more of Tiffany down the road, and I hope she wasn't just essentially like a sacrificial lamb. And the hype package was fucking money, like, goddamn.
Yeah, the idea with the terror thing, that would have been nice, but you also have to take into consideration that would have been, what, 4 matches for this poor man?
Yeah, that would have been time booking.
And that's why I said, you know, like, I completely, because I had said this in private when I was like, you know, I get it, because Jake is obviously right now firing all cylinders for Deborah. So I get not having, you know, Tara come back at this time, if ever. But, you know, the match served its purpose. It was not a bad match by any means. It was very solid. And I'm just glad M killed her.
Fuck you.
Riptide.
Moving, yeah. You're about to be escorted out of the building. Next one, what the fuck is this, a video? Oh, yes, Flojo. Flojo's announcement. We'll do Bolek, Jimmy. No, we'll do Bolek, L. Brian, then Jimmy. Go. Bolek?
I mean, it was nice, I guess.
Oh my
god. I don't really remember what she said.
So okay, never. You know what? Then that's all that needs to be. Brian, you're up.
So, not trying to be in the hot seat here. I wish it was more, or I wish it would have been a written promo. I kind of feel like the segment was just strictly made so it was on the show, and, you know, I feel at certain times we've seen that where people do videos that could have been written RPs, and I don't know if it's maybe because they're nervous people aren't going to read it, or maybe they're not confident in their writing skills as much. But with the FloJo character, she's been so up and down. I'm really glad she made a definitive decision with the FI case, because in my mind, not that I think it would happen, but I think it would be really funny if FloJo and whomever the women's champion main events Lucian, right? And she's calling her shot. So now you essentially have all this time to where FloJo could kind of sit there and get in Deborah's face and be like, "Oh, haha, it's a ticking time bomb. Like, it doesn't matter what you do at Lucian, you have to fight me, and I'm gonna beat you." So the attempt was solid. I just wish the segment had a little bit more spirit in it. But, I understand not everyone is the same when it comes to video segments. So I will always applaud someone for trying and putting the effort in, because now we know what FloJo is going to do. I just hope moving into on Deadly Ground, if we do a pay-per-view into 24 before Lucian or whatever, on this path to Lucian, I just really hope FloJo kicks it into high gear and really sells it to us. Like, I just really want to be like, okay, fuck yeah, this is the FloJo that won at Devil's Night to become the women's champion against Lamu Hera.
Jimmy.
So first thing, I remember being like, "Where's the any sound on that segment?" Because it literally cut to no sound whatsoever with the words, so that was awkward. First, second of all, I actually like FloJo calling her shot for Lucian. I think that that's a better path than the one that C-Note took, for example, that we'll end up talking about, where it kind of makes it seem more important. Really, if you're FloJo, you kind of want to play like Queenmaker in between Lucian, which means that anytime someone gets involved with Deborah, if you think as FloJo, as in kayfabe, as the character, like, hey, this would be an easier target for me to beat at Lucian to take the title, right? Then you try and make that happen, right? Or if it's the opposite, if it's like someone else coming for the title potentially that you don't want to face, maybe you potentially stick your nose in it and sabotage them. Now, there was a written segment earlier in the show where FloJo visits the Caesar Dojo and wants to learn from Dragana Caesar. So it seems like this is like a babyface turn, so maybe that's not going to happen. So I'm a little confused. Maybe she's trying to get like the Hall of Famers, now Hall of Famers, tutelage to go into this and win the title at Lucian, because she's unsure of herself at this point. And where does the family factor into all of this? And lots of questions essentially. Now, FloJo, I think, has a big opportunity to capitalize on this based on that, but it's going to take a lot of shaping and really active meddling during the time between now and when Lucian happens to make that work.
Well, there you go. Fair enough. What you call it? Point. Fuck. I had to fix the gambling real quick. Yeah. So moving on, we got Bertha in the Hall of Fame. Just quick thing. Bertha's been around since 20. I don't even. It's been a long time. Long story short, probably one of the first pioneers of the cross intergender match. Few fights with pretty much everybody of note in the past and the present. So fucking Spider said that he was emotional at dinner when he saw it. So go fuck yourself. And that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. There you go, Emp. There's 2 women in the Hall of Fame, asshole. Moving on. Mark Reese promo. We'll do Brian, Bolek, Jim. Go.
One of my favorite things right now in OCW is the essentially Mark Reese's kind of Cody Rhodes story of trying to finish the story and trying to get the OCW World Championship. And I really did, excuse me, I really did like the promo, because at this point in time, right, after the Lucha Country run, after the betrayal, after the 2 matches that the 2 men had at Consequence and then End Games, you know, Mark Reese and El Parka both changed in various different ways. Like Mark Reese lost his mother, you know, he became international champion. He suffered probably his biggest defeat when he lost to Rust. And then, of course, when he lost that fatal 5-way elimination, you're really starting to sense that time is kind of ticking for Mark Reese, and he really wants to accomplish this goal where it's like, if he can't, well, to him, what is he doing here? And, you know, him adding the layers of like, you know, he's not here to beat Miguel. He's not here to beat El Parka. He's here to beat, you know, El Primero, the bad side of El Parka, and how, you know, he's not sorry for what he has to do tonight. So it's just a nice building block into this, you know, more just not standard white meat baby face Mark Reese. It's more like you're starting to see that he's struggling with this and he wants to accomplish this goal, but maybe doubt is starting to, you know, slither in and be like, can I do it? So it, you know, really good promo. And obviously when we talk about the, you know, world title match, I can talk more about that, but yeah, it was solid. I liked it a lot.
Bolek.
Yeah, it was a very nice promo. I obviously don't know all the story of Lucha Country and between Brian and him. But I very much like the Mark Reese character and all the things he's had to gone through to get to this moment. It's very inspiring and kind of like what Brian said, kind of like a Cody Rhodes story. So I was excited to see what will happen next in the match, and we already know what happened. But yeah, this was a really cool setup to the match.
Yimmy.
This story kind of reminds me of like to use a WWE reference, when Edge, like right before he was like gonna go on that rated R run, he had this like big promo where he kind of like turned heel a bit, right? Where he's frustrated, where he wasn't getting the opportunities, and he'd been there, he'd been a long time veteran, all of these things, right? And that's what this promo screamed to me for Mark Reese, right? It wasn't a heel turn necessarily, but it was clearly an inner monologue coming out that was being shared with the people about how he feels like he needs to complete this, or else it's going to be time to go home to the farm, right? Like this when you're an athlete at the top, right, and you're continually trying to get to this thing, it's like when you're trying to win world title, it's the whole one more match thing with Christian back in the day, right? Like trying to get that title, that, and getting there and finally reaching the mountain, right? That's the whole thing for Mark Reese. So I thought it was a well-written promo, and I thought it, that's what it made me think of when I read the promo when it was coming across the screen. So
Okay, next up we have what's coming up on the docket. Oh yes, wait, what the fuck is? Hold up, something's playing. I gotta see what that was playing. Oh yeah, we have the Jesus, the safety first, the build between Horse and Mugen, and then the Mugen video, and then the actual match. I think the Horse video is probably one of my favorites of the night, just for the simple fact that Horse is actually learning how to, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's getting a little bit better at it, using all kinds of old ass footage, depending on which game. The whole transition from him to from Mugen to him, fucking replayed that shit about maybe 20 times, popped me huge. Big match for the whole, like, potentially passing up the torch, which you ended up seeing. A torch was kind of passed. Then Mugen had his thing explaining his fucking entire lineage as well, from like '07 to current, I guess, for the most part. Match itself, pretty much what you expect. A lot of fuckery, a lot of violence, chaos, carnage, and confusion. Did what it's supposed to do. I don't know. I liked it. And Horse is on the run of a goddamn lifetime without any kind of pixels or titles or anything to his goddamn name, and a path of destruction. It's fucking lovely to see. I heard a thing about Aura mentioned yesterday and thing. This stupid idiot has it. A dipshit Aura, but Aura nevertheless. We'll do Jim, El Brian, then Bolek. Go. Jimmy?
Oh, I'm sorry, you cut it out there for a
Oh, my
second.
bad. Yeah, it's Jim, Brian, then Bolek.
Okay, so first things first, I have a big appreciation for Mugen's like just presentation, right? And like the from the Trons to the clothing, like he makes the character look very interesting. Like the white hair even works, right? Like it just looks really cool. Uh, Horse, man, I made you a Tron, bro. Please use
Cut.
it. Please use it. You're killing me. But Horse is amazing. I mean, like, if he could get a Tron, I mean, he could be the world champion, like, or some shit like that. Like, honestly, he's very good in the ring. Like, I've wrestled him a little bit. Like, uh, he's going through everybody. He's on the run of a lifetime, from what I can tell. Not a lot of people get the row of names that he's gotten and just run through in the last couple of months, right? Or 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it is, right? So he's on the run, and I think that naturally he needs to continue to kind of continue to climb to the top, and uh, to do that, he's got Spider next to attack him. And as Jay has said many times, I think that Spider is deceptively good at the game at times and chooses when he wants to be able to press buttons. So, or chooses when he wants to be able to show people when he knows how to press buttons or whatever it is, right? So, um, the idea here is that it's not going to be just a pushover match, and Horse has, his next challenge. He's got to complete the TTT.
The trash the trash circle. Oh my god, I can't wait. Well, I can't. It's gonna be garbage. I can't wait. El Brian.
So I think with the run and the progress that we are seeing with Horse in terms of the game, his video making, it's kind of like a very telltale. If you want to put the effort in, you will, like, you're going to do it. And I think with him, as goofy as he fucking is, it's like you really got to commend the guy because, as you said, the run that he's going on right now, this undefeated streak that he's had with these last 4 pay-per-views is fucking incredible. And, you know, I might not fully get his character. I might not fully get his arcs on what he's doing all the time, but the dude shows up, he does his work, and he's earning his spot time in and time out. And as much as I might think, why is a horsehead guy, getting, treated like this? The run is insane because it's one thing when you beat Quartz, right? Like that was like such a shocker. But the fact that he then beat Rust and Cass, like, well, wait a minute, like, what are we doing here? That's actually kind of why when he beat Cass, I assumed after that pay-per-view we were going to see Doc versus Horse because I was like, oh, okay, like he solidified his shot at the CCW title match, and we haven't seen Horse contend for the CCW title up until he lost to B17. So hey, you never know. History might repeat itself, but a different timeline. So with him making his little hype package for him and Mugen making his own, kind of like tell story of like what he's gone through and his history in OCW. I've said it before in the Discord, and I will always say it. I found OCW from a 2K17 or 2K16, the Purge logo, and I was like, wow, that is like really clean. And then that's how I first stumbled into OCW. So, to see those two guys and, Mugen especially, because we really don't have many legends that are around in a semi-consistent basis anymore. So, to see Mugen competing and still like pulling out content when the time is right, it was nice to see. So the match definitely did not end how I would have expected, but it was a solid match. And I don't know how either of them are going to be walking afterward, but God bless them. It's a solid run, and I can't wait to see Horse annihilate Spider.
Annihilate's a strong word. You never know. Bolly.
Oh my God, dude, I know.
Yeah, Horse has probably been the superstar of the year.
Ah!
Like, I, I mean, having this win streak in pay-per-views and against the people he has beat. I mean, if he hasn't gone for a world title, it's because he doesn't want to, I guess. Um, the videos were great. The transition from Mugen's video to his entrance, it was awesome. Match itself, it was what you expected. All chaos. I really liked it. Um, and now Spider is gonna be Horse's next opponent, and yeah, I think Horse is gonna kill Spider.
Oh my god.
And yeah, I mean that's what's gonna happen. And then I want to see him challenge for a world title or do something because he completely has the momentum, and I think he should do it.
The fact that everyone thinks it's a foregone conclusion with Spider is crazy. Oh my god, don't do that. If it would be right up Spider's alley just to fucking end it, just because fucking his whole shit up, lead up to it. That's not gonna work for me. We'll see. Either way, I can't wait for it. It should be interesting to see. So that's probably another solidified thing in the future. That's the beauty of this thing, the way it works sometimes. Moving on, we have Max backstage with Doctor Initials. This was in I guess it's a pivot for Initials KCB now. White Glove pop me huge. We will do Snake again. It's we'll do Bolek, then El Brian, then Jimmy. Go ahead, you're back up, Bolek.
What
Bolek,
segment?
yeah, the Lewis Bishop segment.
Um, it was okay. I don't
Okay,
have nothing
okay,
much to say.
okay, Brian.
So KCB is definitely one of my favorite characters in OCW. And with the, not to sound like a little edgelord, but like if you've been reading and kind of like following along with his post Aries leaving arc that he's been building, it's rather interesting because the guy is going from being this ragtag ruffian douchebag to where now he's just kind of being like he's cleaning he's cleaning himself up, he's trying to act more proper, and he's being a douchebag still, but it's this it's a different way. So to see him kind of going after Luis Bishop, it's interesting because obviously Casey and Parka have history. Now Luis and Parka are allies with under Dennis Dillinger. So I think that being probably what I assume the start of something between the two men. I'm excited to see where it pans out, and exactly what you said, like him putting on the white glove for the handshake was absolute money.
Jimmy.
So it's pretty interesting to me because what has been lost in this whole thing is like kind of a fallout of GSS and like what like that faction seems to be dissolving. So where does that leave everybody? And I have been reading KCB, and he's trying to go for a little bit more of, instead of like a poor like snob to like a rich snob, I guess would be like kind of the thing. So when you don't change your attitude, you just like go up class. I guess that's kind of like the whole thing. It's just the way that you do it. So it's been an interesting little change, and he's a little bit more dressed up now these days than he used to be. Not as quite as ragtag. Uh, Brian made an interesting point when it comes to into relation to El Parca and that whole thing. So I think that's probably the natural continuation, since El Parca's not going to get his hands on Aries, as we all know. So what's the next best thing? Initials, I guess, or if we're still calling him that. But KCB. So where that goes moving forward, especially now that El Parca is the world champion, I personally think that Mark Reese deserves a one-on-one match. He stole the man's moment, but we'll see how that goes as well.
Okay, moving right along. We have Perfect Storm versus the Lobby. The fucking video, intro video was really good. Russ smiling with the little whatever and the music, Pew's music, Paul. That's another one I replayed a billion times. Enjoyable. A lot of history between like most of the people involved, even from a meta sense and a non-meta sense. Of course, the Ocean Boys have history to boot. The history between CQC, or rather Rust, and Quartz, Rust and H2O. Rust and H2O, Rust and Quartz. And then you have the weird factor of Paul Pugh, the legend, and how it ties into everything, especially him being off thing as one of not so much the Quartz character, but more so the handler initial into getting into OCW, and the whole the reveal of it was fucking funny because no one knew about it until when it happened. And as we said, it was a combination of this is amazing, but go fuck yourself. The match itself pretty much checked all of my wrestling boxes. All I wanted was drop kicks to be watched. They were watched. All I wanted to see was a pedigree. Got my pedigree. All I wanted to see was H2O have a fucking nervous breakdown, and I got that too. So pretty much checked all my boxes. It lived up to the all-star hype. The fact that we saw the same disgusting indie garbage bullshit DDT from both tag teams also popped me huge. At the same corner as well. All in all, I fucking dug it. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it, other than the fact that Quartz holding block every time Pew was in the ring fucking popped me huge because he was not going to get drop kicked. Trying to get baited for a drop kick and not getting drop kicked, and H2O getting pedigreed on his fucking ass twice. So yeah, we'll do Jim Parker Bolek, Jimmy Europe.
So I really enjoyed this match from the standpoint of I haven't gotten to see a lot of Paul Pugh in terms of his what he's wrestled, and he wrestled Antonio Everett, but he looked very good. You know, the drop kick, the thing at the beginning where they both went for the drop kick was pretty awesome, I gotta say. And then it like bumped. I think it was H2O. It bumped H2O, and he kind of like got dazed. So Pew got the advantage. So I thought that was a little wonky. Thank you game as well, but a Pew degree was very nice. It's nice to see all of that. You can tell though that you know the perfect storm and Russ, you know, like Pew's still trying to learn the game a little bit. You know, he was a little bit behind in that respect compared to the other three guys because they play a lot more than he does. But he did very well, and it was overall a very nice match. I thought Perfect Storm was going to win coming into it, and they ended up winning, which makes sense for them, especially with their arc and where they're going now, and the potential of, you know, if once Mass Effect is done, you know, will they get their tag team title shot, right? Like the one they've been lobbying for the entire time they've been a team. You know, and where it goes from there individually, because there's always a bunch of different rivalries. You know, always seems like it always comes back to something, whether H2O can beat Rust in a singles match, for example.
H2O's not beating Russ in a singles match. That's not happening. The reason I like this match a lot is because of the fucking ending. Because again, he went for two, and he fucking ate shit, and it's just it always happens. Just because I know him holding control, he's having a fucking panic attack, and people know that when you're in certain matches, you just start fucking losing your mind. It happens every fucking time. So just watching it live always fucking makes me smile, I guess. Brian, you're up.
So I think the lobby probably has the best attires out of everyone on the show. So that was awesome. I really liked their shirts. I liked the trunks that they had, and I'm sure, you know, Pew's probably thinking, wow, he's actually complimenting me. How crazy. Anyways, that's my snark. But I wasn't overly in love with it, just because, kind of like what you said, Jay, is there was at certain points where you could absolutely tell, like, Harvey was shitting himself because he wasn't really able to do what he wanted to do against Pew, which in a sense was hilarious, because it's like, my dude, you went on a treacherous world title run last game. You're one of the best handlers, yet you're letting a dude who probably barely touches this game, rough you around and get you to where you're freaking out. So kind of seeing that dynamic of, Harvey in the match kind of show a weakness and being scared almost. Because there was like a time where Harvey had 2 finishers and he went and tagged in Quartz. And it's like, oh, dude, like, you're fucking shitting your pants right now. Like, you do not want to get hit with the pedigree or lose this match. So he goes and tags in Quartz. And kudos to them. I'm assuming the game did not shit on them when it came to certain aspects of, like, when I was jealous seeing the across the ring Irish whips and dragging. So, them being able to play the game properly was very nice to watch. I wanted the lobby to win. I will not lie. I would have absolutely shit myself if Pew especially would have pinned H2O. But, as kind of like Jimmy said, Perfect Storm winning was probably a lot of people's foregone conclusion. And in even like a predetermined setting, I would assume, you would have put Perfect Storm over. So, the hype package that was made before it was money, and just a lot of the hype packages on this show just did not miss. And I do, in a certain sense, I would love to see Q versus Harvey one-on-one, but, well, again, that is, I know we've seen that recently at Red Sun Rising, but I would love to see it again. I would hope that we could maybe pull that off and not essentially get rid of Perfect Storm. I would, just like to see kind of like that little arc, depending on what Perfect Storm does moving forward from Anniversary. But overall, yeah, like the match was solid. I think if if Pew plays a little bit more, he probably would be able to hang around with some of the people that, as Jimmy said, play more often. And Harvey finally at least broke one curse by at least having a win over us. So that's a nice victory for him.
Well, tags don't count. It's singles, baby. It's singles, and fucking he's still in a fucking pedigree. If he had resilience, he probably would have won, but he didn't even equip it. So
well, you can't use resiliency in tag matches.
Yeah, I keep fucking forgetting that shit too. Yeah, I said that shit yesterday as well, but he didn't have it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But either way, what?
A win in a tag team match, a singles match, a handicap match, Royal Rumble, it don't matter. A win is a win.
Don't count.
A win is a win. Yes,
doesn't count,
Jimmy,
brother.
A win is a win.
He's still 0-6 in singles matches. That's all that matters, brother. 1-on-1, Bolek, you're up.
I really enjoyed this match because I feel like they were all having fun, but at the same time they were all freaking out. And yeah, I didn't have someone who I wanted to win because I really like all of them. It was nice seeing Perfect Storm win, even though Harvey couldn't hit a single riptide, even though he tried like 4 times in a row and he missed 4. What an idiot! But yeah, I mean, I pretty much liked it. Um, the lobby attire, that was really really good. I really liked it. I know some people complained about it being too much pink. I don't care. It was amazing. And yeah, it was a great match.
Okay, we got let's see. Oh, on Deadly Ground again. We already established that. Oh, we have Marissa Marissa prepping for the outside. We could probably lump all these together because we have Marissa on the being ringside for the women's match. Actually, yeah, since it involves a women's match, we can just lump that together. We had Marissa going out for the women's match. Then we have the Bell promo. I guess putting Bell over. And then you follow that up, and you also have the World's Women's Wrestling promo as well, building the entire match. And then you have the match itself. And very, very enjoyed it. The last couple of minutes of the match were must-see, competitive. Like, that's what you show people. Not so much the no-selling part, but, that's what you show people. Very, very exciting. People were on the edge of their seat. Me watching, doing commentary, was on the edge of my fucking seat, going back and forth, and then eating 2 718s, and then fucking New Japan strong styling it, only to fucking get that clutch dodge into the fucking through the filter, fucking 1 2 3. Can't write that shit. You can't script that shit. It was great. So very much very much one of the better matches in any division of the year. So since we'll do Stan the Man O'Brien, then Bolek, then Jimmy. Go.
So the Marissa ringside thing, what I really liked about this segment is it kind of it was like a window and you're looking into Marissa by sitting there, and she kind of keeps her avenues completely open. You know what I mean? Like she's rooting for Belle. She's, trash talking Deborah and Joanna. So it's kind of like Marissa, in a sense, has many ways that she could go. You know what I mean? So it's like if Belle would have won, maybe we could have seen Marissa versus Belle in a friendly competition for the title. Maybe Marissa tries to get a rematch against Deborah, or as she said at the end of it, she was like, if Joanna wants another round, we can go, wench. So I thought that was really solid and really kind of similar to earlier in the night with the M. Tiffany match. It really put a lot of characters in the women's division together. And then the one thing that, and I think it's just because it already happened once in the show, was the Belle the Belle self hype package, and then the Deborah Belle match hype package. When it was Mugen and Horse, I didn't mind it because, Mugen has been here for so long. He is this legend and he has a lot of history. Whereas with the Belle and Deborah situation, it was kind of weird for me because, I obviously was not here when Belle had her initial run. And of course, her hype package for herself did, it kind of like shined light on her character and what she had been through in her previous stint. But at a certain time, I kind of had wished that she would have added parts of Deborah as well. Maybe showcasing earlier parts of Deborah, because I assume, right, and this is where I will have to do my fact checks afterward, but I assume when Belle was around, Deborah was Debbie D. So I would have liked to kind of see maybe two hype packages instead of one where it's okay, I'm just going to essentially boast myself up, and then we get the one where Jake made that the one for the match, which I thought the one for the match was absolutely tremendous. And once again, the hype packages just don't miss. The match itself, it just goes to show why right now Deborah is on a run that is, and I know it might be recency bias, I'm sure people will disagree with me, but this is honestly rivaling the run of when Emp was the women's champ, when Emp was main evented Summerside, and when she had the Army intro, and when she was really top dog shit as the women's champ. And I really think Deborah is getting very close to surpassing that. I think if Deborah can get past Lucian and can continue having these feuds, that it's just in reality, I think, as much as I usually hate it, you guys on commentary said we had 2 main events. I genuinely think you guys could have even said we had 3 main events, because the 3 world title matches that we had on this show, any one of those matches could have been the main event of the show. And I just think, sooner rather than later, I could see the women's world championship main eventing Illusion, as we've already seen it main event Aside. We've already seen it, with the Chamber. We've seen the War Games. The women are very much so, in a sense, starting to catch up to the men in, demanding the respect and demanding the spotlight on them. So, that's a huge kudos to, Deborah, and Belle did phenomenal as well. Her coming back and essentially sprinting to this title shot with her impressive wins, it's an extreme round of applause to both of them, because it's like you said, that ending, man, was insane. The back and forth constant reversal, signature reversals was intense. The one thing that I want to stop being seen in OCW, because we'd seen it 3 times to where I can remember on this show. And I don't blame the handlers. I understand it's honestly just the game being dog shit, but I don't want to see double finishers because you just know it's not going to end the match. And we've seen it with Telos, we've seen it with the Lobby versus Perfect Storm, and then we've seen it with Deborah. And that's just me at a kayfabe form where it's like when you're doing two finishers, you almost always want it to be the end of the match. Whereas Deborah hit the two finishers, and then I think it was like a 0 kick out. And that to me, it's not a huge thing, but it's just like, damn, man, like that's just, I'd wish the game was better in the selling aspect, but the right woman won. The best woman in OCW is still the women's world champion, and the celebration doesn't stop there. So big ups to Debbie. And that was an amazing match, feud, and hype package duo that we got. So I'm very excited to see where Belle goes from here and where Deborah goes as well.
Documentary style. Who's up next? I forgot if it's Yimmy or Bolek.
I think it's me.
Then go for it.
Well, first Marisa segment, it was okay. She booked herself for a match with the winner, so congrats. Then Belle's video, I didn't love it, because I didn't know what was happening. Because first minute went by and I was like, "Where's Deborah?" And
What you say like that?
and then another minute came by and I
No
didn't see
Deborah.
her. So and yeah, but it was okay. I think it was kind of long. It was 3 minutes. Then the actual high package for the match, pretty good. Jake, he never misses. Match itself, I really really liked it. It was one of the best matches of the night. Um, I mean, what can I say about both of these characters? Deborah is just great. I mean, she has been on a roll, man, and I want her to keep being women's champion forever. Like, yeah, I
Tell them,
mean, she's great.
tell them.
The world
Yeah,
champion,
yeah. I
as Deborah
mean,
says.
Brian is a simp, but he has a point.
Facts.
So, yeah. And props to Bell, obviously too, because he did a great job. Um, it, it was a moment in the match where it seems like she was gonna win and everyone was going crazy. Especially Brian, because he always bets like 100K on every match. Um, so it was pretty good. And the feud itself, it was really nice. It started like Deborah just picking a random girl to beat, but they had a great feud, and I really liked it.
That's the new merch. Where's Deborah? Jimmy, you're up.
First of all, I want to say how much I hate how over the top Jake got to be this week and then go 3-0. So, first, I want to say that. Okay? So, we'll start there. Second of all,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
I want to give Jake a lot of credit. Between the three hype packages that he did across all of the different matches, they were all different. They were done well, professionally. And I mean, just the ideas behind them, the way they hit in certain places, things say, the way that they line up are all just very well done. Okay. The match itself, very back and forth. Like Bolek was trying to get at, there were lots of points, or maybe not lots of points, but there were a few points where I was like, oh, there's a chance that Belle could actually win this match. Because when I go into it expecting, like, this is just another Deborah title defense, right? She's trying to be on her Roman Reigns stuff where it's just, it's just another title defense, right? But there were times where I really thought Belle might win the match. Belle's hype package confused me a little bit because I didn't know that was Belle at first. So when it first came on, I was kind of like, huh? Who is that? because it doesn't look like Belle at all today, right? Like they look very different. So I was initially confused by that a little bit, but then I figured it out, and it came out pretty well. Overall, great challenge by Belle. Marissa has set herself up. It appears to go back to war with Deborah again. With all things considered, but Deborah, being the type of cunning heel champion she is, I'm sure we'll do her best to avoid that. And then I did hear while Deborah was in the ring that Brian Williams was running around her locker room in her jacket, shoes, and hat. So there might be a video of that floating around the internet. So everybody should go and try and find that.
Nasty work. I'll say
No
this.
comment.
I'll say this. With the Bell video, since I knew there was already another women's hype package, it didn't. I didn't like whatever. But it was very just one-sided. So I think it kind of helped just because people are like, oh yeah, Bell's definitely winning. Look at this hype package that they did for themselves or whatever. But so that usually helps. I like that because it ruins the betting because people are, oh hell yeah, it's a foregone conclusion. I appreciate people who make it look like they're gonna win and they don't, just because number one, it fucks up the betting, and number two, it shows that they're not a selfish prick. So I'll leave it like that. Yeah. Other than that, great fucking women's match. Matter of fact, let me just cue that little segment up before we go. Yeah, there it is. If you're watching on the thing, that's when it happens now. Just watching that shit back on the live stream is fucking crazy. That's again the second time's a charm. And look, like you can't script that, bro. That just happens in the game. Then strong style finish with the two finishes. Like I also mentioned that earlier, BrianJordan, fucking that the finisher shit. Like if you hit two, they're kicking out no matter what. It just feels like if you hit two, that's what's gonna happen. And it happened 3 times on the show. That's why the super finisher thing is gonna be interesting to see how that does with us moving forward in season 19. I'm very curious to see what happens with it, but you never know. Anyway, just a 1, 2, 3 on that fucking thing, and then it takes it to our next bit, which is Super S Cup I have here, and then who's this? We got something coming up here, I think so. Give me a second. What's playing? Oh, it's a video. What video is this? Oh yeah. Oh, we have the hype package for the OCW Road to Gold finals with Lucha Country, or rather Mark Reese and El Parca, and then obviously you guys know what happens in the when the actual match is going to start. So we'll do the promo on the thing. Match itself, did not hate. I like the fact that fucking Ceno came to play despite fucking sitting on 3 finishers. Ceno claims couldn't hit him. The jury's still fucking out, but yeah, very entertaining match. Won suddenly. Ironically, Mark Reese won with a roll up to get into the Road to the Gold and lost with a roll up to not become OCW champion. The story continues, I guess. Fun match. I liked it. Watching fucking C-Note go ham sandwiches was also kind of incredible. If you want, I'll give everybody I'll do the Iggy now, might as well. So essentially like I was saying, the idea was that there was going to be a chamber match with the participants. It was going to be Aries, Sheldon, Mark Reese, El Parca, Owen, and then Amar. Amar was going to be there, but Amar was going to basically be cannon fodder, at which point he gets fucking cleared immediately. Ceno comes in, cashes in, and takes the last pod in the cell, and comes out last in the chamber, rather. That was the idea. Obviously, that didn't happen, and to be clear, I'll say it specifically, that 2-strap thing is a meme at this point, but it's not fucking happening if I can have my say in it, which is not. Since Sheldon is international champion,
2024, bro.
You can go fuck yourself. Because Sheldon is international champion. The probability of winning the chamber was low, so it's like fuck it. We can go with that. In worst case scenario, if he did win that chamber, he would be put in a match he would probably not win, like that following Monday, or that following Friday rather, to appease my soul. That didn't happen, so we have the Owen Sheldon thing. So we have to pivot, and that's what happened. So. As far as C-Note goes, him and the future investment, he said right after he won, I think the first week, that he wants to cash in like on a show and make it whatever it is, like a triple threat, which is like, I'm fine with it. So then the question was, or rather to put himself in the match, whatever it was, which was fine. So then it came down to whether they want to be Doc or whether they want to be OCW. At one point, it was going to be Doc, and then that pivoted, and then I guess communication broke down. I don't fucking know the specifics. I just know that at one point, he's like, yeah, not Doc. And then Doc confirmed that, yeah, he's not going to do it or whatever, or that C-Note wasn't going to do it, which obviously knowing that you're going to do OCW, you're going to decline CCW because you're doing one and, no spoilers. So I appreciate people not spoiling. So he did this one. He pulled the cast. In similar cast vein, came up short, but a good star making performance, entertaining match all around. We will do Bolek, then Jim, and then Parker at the end. Go.
High package was good. It pretty much resumed what was going on. Then for the match, I didn't expect C-Note cashing in, especially to have a triple threat. I think that was not really good, but okay, it was his decision. Um, Match itself, it was really good. I really, really liked it. Um, and I'm happy that Parka is a world champion. Um, I'm sad that it seems like every time Mark Reese is getting close to achieving um the world title, something happens. Like maybe if Sino didn't cash in, he would be world champion. Or maybe he did become world champion, then Sino will cash in and fuck him. So I'm sad for him, but it is what it is. And for C Note, I think he was the only guy in the match that had something to lose because he obviously cashed in the briefcase. So and it was for a triple threat, not for like beating a guy that it's already beat. So it was a good match. I really liked it, and and I almost forgot. Max going for the world title.
Yes.
It's something that really excites me. I mean, my nipples were really hard when I saw him,
You gotta relax.
and I'm really, 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 really excited for that.
Hi, Cass. Jimmy, you're up.
Wow, it's gonna be really hard to the nipples thing from Bolek there. It's some revolutionary stuff. Um, I overall thought that I wanted to see a one-on-one match between Mark Reese and Park. I love the hype package, by the way. It was very very well done. Two of them do great work, and I kind of felt like, damn, C Note's getting himself involved in this. Like, if it were me and I was in his position, I wouldn't want a triple threat. I'd want a one-on-one match, and try and find, like, I'd probably go more the Lotus Flojo route than the one he went, right? And I get, like, the chamber match would be an intriguing possibility, so I definitely get where you're coming from when you kind of did the whole cannon fodder thing, right? Um, but I don't know if I'd want to be in just some triple threat match, right? That's kind of tough. You're using your biggest asset to get into a triple threat match, and this isn't like, oh, I'm running down mid match Seth Rollins stuff, right? Like, I got to come in the beginning and I got to be there the whole time, right? So there's no, like, strategy to that. It's just, hey, I'm in a triple threat match. But that's the route he chose, which is, good. He didn't end up getting, so it's a failed future investment cash in. He didn't end up winning the championship. Obviously, El Parca did. Um, I think I said before that, El Parca and Mark Reese, I want to see a one-on-one rematch between them. I think that, is a natural place for them to go based on, Cena being involved previously. And Cena has his own story with Claude Hall at this point, so it's kind of something he can wash his hands of overall at this point. But I really enjoyed the match. Cena at one point, like everyone said, was kind of soloing everyone, so that was interesting. But his finisher too, I think he talked about it. Like, his finisher, he kept trying to hit it, and it was like doing something weird where he couldn't hit it. So he probably needs to look at that as well. Because it might have cost him world title. So we'll see.
You're up. Parker.
So obviously, As Jay said, it was meant to be a chamber. At the end of the day, I love Aries. That's my man. That's one of my best friends. What happened happened. It was definitely shitty because if I'm being honest with everyone, that's all I wanted was an Aries match, and obviously that is not going to happen for the time being, if ever. Which at the end of the day happens. I will say I was very grateful to Jay and staff for not taking me and Reese out. That is no shot at Owen or Sheldon. If it were up to me, I know I gave some Cocainium Tony Khan vibes to Jay. I recommended a fucking championship scramble. With I tried to keep it. I tried pitching ideas to keep pretty much everyone who's going to be in the match in it still. But end of the day, whatever was easiest on Jay and his booking and just his life, because I know that Anniversary was not only just a thickly produced show, but there was a good chunk of words, and I know he was like swimming because his shit was leaking. I'm very proud of what me and Jamie did get there. It's been 27 months since Mark Reese and Al Parka were in a ring in a one-on-one capacity. I truthfully, Jim, I'm right in the spot where what you said. If I were C-Note, I would not have done a triple threat. I would have just done immediately after Reese and Parka, because with the OCW rules and just how the FI is, you get the immediate damage advantage. And that's how I always look at the FI. The FI is meant to be essentially like a Money in the Bank, where you can cash in at any time, and in my eyes, you become a champion if you do it the right way. Alas, that did not happen. Me and Jamie did tell C-Note, after the match, like you probably should have tried to hit your finishers more often. I think he was trying to wait for a quote unquote perfect moment to do that. And that perfect moment never came, because the only time when I noticed he tried to hit a finisher, the pounce overrode his finisher. And then, that was how we got the finish of the match. But C-Note, he did excellent, especially for kind of the situation that was going on. I preferred it because I immediately told him that it was similar to a Kassidy Hayes moment, where I'm going to go and fuck up a one-on-one match that people are wanting to see. So, that is great heel heat, and that is a great way to, sit there and have people talking about you. I'm obviously the world champ again, so I'm going to be miserable until that time ends. But I'm very happy that Max Edwards decided to stop being a bitch and avoiding me. So I can't wait to whoop his ass.
Mad rude. But Man Bun Max is a different animal, just so you know. It should be fun. That should be a fun time for the fucking future for the OCW division. So yeah, C-Note made history, and I think he wasn't pinned, so he fucking had a great showing. And yeah, as far as I can tell, when he did try, he fucking shit got overrode anyway. So as Jimmy said, should probably look into those specifics and see what you can do about it. What else we have? We have a commercial. Oh yes, Kassidy Hayes in the Hall of Fame. A collective groan on VP was great. Everybody just being like, ugh.
He deserves it, though. He definitely deserves it.
Everybody just went, ugh.
Oh, no. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so Cass is in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, fucking deserves it. I think he's been here 8 years now. So, it is what it is. Fucking, it's weird. I don't like it, but... Oh, why are you here? Why are you here now? Why do you show up for this?
Bro. You can like these.
Go away. Get out of my face. Bye. I gotta close this shit. There's too many people invading. Yeah. Cast in the Hall of Fame. I hate this. So we have a list. We'll see what we'll get. Next year's list will be interesting, and then the year after. So it's all a plan. Anyway, moving on. We have the last match of the night, which is the which is the CCW title. King Doc versus B17. This fucking hype package. Generally, I would be upset at the length, but because of the how it told the entire story, and because of what subsequently happened after the what you call it the match, this is why I can't really hate. I liked it. It told a wonderful story. It kind of gave us a breakdown of everything that went down, and it was a kind of a linchpin on a fucking hell of a run or hell of a career, I guess, if you will. Match itself pretty solid for the fucking main event. You can see a little bit of that old, trying to go back to the well, maybe, whatever, like very Ric Flairish, especially with the fucking beard color. Didn't work. B17 had it scouted, and oddly enough, it's crazy. In 2024, B17 is CCW champion. I know Rex started smiling, and I hate that. Yeah, but it is what it is, and it's interesting to see what's going to happen with B17 in 2020 fucking what you call it, in 2024. When you were champion, Parker, it was Everett, right? And then B17 was
Yes.
subsequently afterwards. Yeah, so you were never champion at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just weird seeing in B17 a CCW champion. So I'm interested to see what happens in the future, to see where it goes with everybody. But overall, solid bout. And yeah, Kang was gonna be on here, but I guess he fucking is not around. So probably because it's late over there. Is he? Oh no, yeah, he's on the fucking thingy thing. All right, yeah. So we'll do Bolek, Parker, and then Jimmy. No wait, yeah, Bolek, Parker, Jimmy. Go.
Yeah. High package was very emotional. It was very good. I really
Yes.
liked it. I obviously don't know much about their history, but I really liked the high package because it was very well done. And the match itself, it was very good. Um, it was pretty competitive, pretty even. And I don't know what else to say. It was great. I know the game fucked Doc at the end because he reversed the finisher, but he didn't. And now Doc's retiring, so I didn't expect that. Um, we'll see what happens now. What happens with B17 being champion, and we'll see. I really liked it, and I didn't expect first Doc acting heel because he tried to punch me in the nuts, and then retiring. So yeah.
Well, technically, the R word wasn't used, but you never know. You're up, Parker.
I was just about to say that. In the words, he'd said he won't use the R word. I'm very mixed on this match. I hated it in the sense that we kind of went back. I feel like we went one step forward, two step back, because when Doc won the CCW championship, honestly, even before that, when he was feuding with Rex, I really loved that it was him because he was a fresh face in the CCW division. And I think that is something historically, at least in my opinion, that is. I'm sure people might hate this. I don't really care. I feel like the CCW title scene has relatively seen a lot of the same people constantly go in and out. Like, for a time it was Quartz and Rex, and then we had Tony, and then we had, when we would sprinkle in, I remember the Four Pillars match at the last Lucian, where, Rust was fighting for the title, and, Rust was trying to take the CCW title away from Tony to retire it because he's going to leave the company. I really loved when Doc won the championship, and I really wanted to see him go on a longer reign because I was of the mindset where I was like, fuck yeah, like this dude is about to reinvigorate this title, and he's about to sit there and do things that historically I feel the CCW title has lacked. You know, like Tony, we've seen with his international title reign, he made a lot more stars and people that was challenging him. And when the match with B17, you know, was being built, I was like, man, this is a telltale. This is an easy match for Doc because he's going to absolutely just smoke B17, and he's a Chad. The dude got fucked over by the game, and he took it on the chin. I hope he comes back someday, you know, because at the end of the day, he is the king of OCW, and no matter if we run a King of OCW tournament anytime soon, you know, that throne will be his. And I think Tony and Doc are two of the absolute best / studs in OCW. So to not see these guys as full force like they, you know, for in years past, like we used to have them, he will definitely be sorely missed. And I really hope B17 can prove me wrong. I hope he shuts my mouth and does some good things with this title reign, because I am now going to project what I wanted the Doc title reign to be in this new B17 title reign, because, you know, the Kang was, he looked like he was getting ready to do some really good shit. And unfortunately, comp is comp, game is garbage. It got cut short. My man had his send off, and the hype package was one of the best ones that I've seen in OCW. I think that's something that when we get a Doc hype package, you know, him and Tony, those guys are fucking fine wine, man. They know how to do some really good shit when they're locked in and they want to show everyone like, hey, we can be the best when we want to be. So overall, see him go. Sad to see his title reign end how it did, but that's the CCW title, baby. You get cursed at anniversary. I know all about it.
All right, we got Jimmy and then Kang. Jimmy, you're up.
Wow, it's amazing how OCW kind of pivots. 1 minute you're getting kicked in the face by Bolek and the rest of DNS, and then the next minute you're the CCW champion in B17's perspective, I guess. So, you know, things pivot, man. You know, they go from one thing to another quick. So, with that being said, I did love the match. I told B17, you know, go win the title, you know, go do your thing, man. And he did it, and he's hopefully gonna, you know, give you one of those really nice reigns like he's done in the past, and can, you know, uplift the championship. And I'm not as privy to the history, but I did notice, looking at some of the title history stuff that we've been looking at, Jay, for like the website and stuff, that the list of names on the CCW title and who's held it is a lot more exclusive comparative to the OCW title, right? Like, it's a lot more repeat champions and people who have held it multiple times, you know, that type of thing. So a lot less names on that list. So it's interesting to see. And B17 has always talked about how, like, you know, that he covets that championship, right? So the match itself was very interesting. I'm not sure why Doc went for the heel turn right before he was going to, like, go away for a while. So maybe he can answer that question, you know, after I get done speaking. But, um, you know, that one really kind of threw me off a little bit, to be honest with you. But, you know, I read the whole thing, you know, the words afterwards, and, you know, I personally have gone back and watched some of the Doc stuff with B17 and just all of the guys over the years, you know, in the YouTube annals of history, right? And it's been very interesting. And I got behind Doc personally as a fan, with the way that he kind of did his segments, and, you know, the combination of the written and the video segments, and just overall the presentation of a character. He felt like an older, you know, guy who is, you know, at this point in his career, he's established. His gray beard, kind of, you know, great dye job, by the way, on the beard. I looked at those dye jobs; they're hard to do. uh but overall, I really felt great about the match. The bingo punch, in the end, you know, put him down. And it's just sad that, you know, Doc seems to be stepping away without using the retirement word. and what's going to happen, and personally, I'm just lucky that, we got to stand across the ring from them.
Kang, you're up, and sorry for not adding you earlier because I totally fucking forgot.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Well, actually, I can answer the question because basically what was going to happen is, well, obviously the plan was always for me to have the title reign and then leave. Like I knew, for a while that it was kind of going to be it. Like I've always, and the timing and stuff, and obviously how things happened. I was either going to retain the title and turn heel, or lose the title, and then that would have been it. That's why I hid the low blow and stuff. I used the comeback payback to basically hide it. So yeah, that happened obviously. Yeah, I lost the title. So it was either I was going to turn heel on the show and continue the reign until I lost, and then I would, go out as a heel, and and I did want to make a new star, and obviously there's I had ideas and things like that, but the way the timing kind of happened, I just thought, well, it's time. There's something to be said for knowing the right time, and obviously I was always going to go at some point, and I did want to make sure I finished my commitments and stuff before I left, because I owe it to to the title, and I owe it to the character, and I owe it to everything that I did sort of see that through. So I'm glad that I did, and I mean, I suppose from my perspective, putting together that video package, that's very much is like a retrospective really of my career. There's elements from that, if you probably would have noticed, well, possibly, that pretty much every important match that I've had in OCW up to this point, I will say, because I don't want to close that door, but elements from basically every match. There's the CQC match, the first tag team title match. There's the Sparks and B17 match before we split the Uncrowned. There's the Uncrowned split itself. There's the Clash. The only one that I couldn't find. There's Pew match. There's the B17 match, obviously at Lucian, 13 I think it was. Yeah, the only match that I couldn't find was the first Doc Tony match, which was recorded on a literal fucking potato. So I couldn't find it. Yeah, but and I'm glad that people did sort of like the video package, because it was supposed to be emotional, and I wanted obviously to set people up to feel emotional, losing the title and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think it's time now. I knew it was the right time. Even with the game screwing me over and all that
you
stuff.
got fucked. I saw it. We all actually called. Wait a minute, didn't he revert? Nope. Game's like, nah, B. Go fuck.
I did
get
reverse.
Fucked. Yeah, get fucked, nerd.
Yeah. And credit to Adam, he did offer me the rematch, and I said, "Nah, B, that's your problem now." Yeah, but I knew it would be the right time, kind of thing. As soon as I lost the title, I think as far as I say, timing's literally everything. I've made events at the last 4 pay-per-views. Been the champion. You got to go out at the right time, and this was the right time for me. But and obviously referring to the promo, I was obviously it was almost just I was talking almost as myself, really, for the most part in that promo, saying sort of thank you, and I know the show's going to move on, and it is now time for people to step up. I think, to be fair, on the show as a whole, there was a lot of people now where I can look and say, those people are going to be ready to step up. I mean, I'm looking at the card and looking at Talos. Actually, one thing that I thought was quite funny is I saw KD in the chat getting hyped for Talos. I was like, it's almost like we've got, and obviously I don't want to blow smoke and I don't want to preempt anything, but you've got almost a new incarnation of KD there, and you've got Blacksmith, who could be a new incarnation of Mugen, kind of thing. There is a lot of people coming through right now. I think OCW is in a really good place, and I'm not needed. I'm in a position in my life where I don't really have the capacity to sort of be at the top of my game, and I wouldn't want to be in OCW if I wasn't doing that. So that's why things sort of have panned out the way they have, and I'm happy with how things have sort of ended for now. I mean, the match was awesome. I think, I would hope that that's what people would expect of me, kind of thing. So I wouldn't want to then continue and half-arse it, or not give 100%, because that's not what people have come to expect of me, and I wouldn't want to give that. So yeah, now is the time for me to run off into the sunset, and I will still be around in some capacity, and I will be watching. But yeah, time for me to go.
The fuck out of here now. I'm just kidding. So while you're here, because like I said, I forgot to fucking invite you before. Any thoughts? We didn't get the whole thoughts on here, but any thoughts on this entire event? Because like it's been pretty. The universal thing is nobody hated it, so I really have no complaints. So do you have anything to add, at least about the show as a whole?
No, not really. I mean, I think to be fair, the thing that I took away from it was, no, OCW's in good hands at the minute now. I think there's loads of potential right now. I think there's people that should want to step up. There's spots now up for grabs, kind of thing. I know there's a lot of stuff going around with Pew talking about taking people's spots and stuff, but there is a lot of space now. I'm not going to be here, and I know for a fact that Tony's not. He's going to be around, but he's not pushing for that main event slot. If you want to push for that main event slot, now's the time to prove that you deserve it, kind of thing. I think there's a lot of people in OCW right now, and there's people on the card. I mean, I'm looking at Bolek, I'm looking at Talos. I know Talos has been here for a long time, but this is the time now. We're in the run to Lucian now, so fucking step up your game. If you haven't been thinking about it already, because again, these spots are up for grabs, and there's a lot of people right now who are on the card today, who will be in the future continuing to move forward, and there's people who aren't on the card right now who will move forward as well and continue to push these people for these upper spots. And yeah, but it was a really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it on the most part. So yeah, happy days.
All right. So before we wrap up, we'll just do a quick lightning round of. I'll call out, and then you tell me your favorite match, and then we can fuck off. So we'll do Parker first. Favorite match of the night.
Deborah versus Belle.
Okay. Why?
I think it, as what Doc said, it's really showing just the growth in OCW, and we have a lot of people now where we're getting characters and handlers that are stepping up, and they're being put in these positions to succeed. And sure, at the end of the day, you might not win the match, but if you can tell a successful story, and if you can land yourself on a pay-per-view where the show is almost 4 hours long and it doesn't feel like that,
thank God,
that's just an absolute community win. Like that really does just go to show how, OCW has been progressing and has been improving over the 5 years that I've been here.
Well said. Bolek, favorite match and why of the night?
I was gonna say Belle and Deborah too, but I don't want to repeat, so I'm gonna say the main event.
Hey, why?
Just because of the emotion of the match, the history between these two, and obviously the match just being really, really good.
Okay. Jimmy, favorite match and why?
It's got to be the North American Championship triple threat match. I think the combination of the story coming in, the story that was told, and overall the spot finish was just perfect for me. So I think that was the match of the night for me.
Sounds good. And Kang, favorite match and why?
I mean, I suppose I kind of alluded to it. My favorite match was the Bolek Talios match, to be honest. I mean, there's in terms of match quality and stuff, I think there's a very even spread across the whole card. But I'm looking at that match and I'm saying these are two people who are in a position now to move up. It's kind of like I can't really think of like a pro wrestling comparison to think off the top of the head. Like, I mean, I suppose a good one would be like if you watched an Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit match in ECW and you go, oh, these people are gonna be moving up soon. That's the kind of vibe that I get from that match, which is really exciting. So I'll give them the credit for the show.
Thank you, sir. And then for me, I'm going with the fucking all-star tag just because of fucking all the fucking interpersonal shit that made me pop. Like I said, like fucking Jake literally having a meltdown that if he was gonna get if he would have got like, you don't understand, if he would have got drop kicked, the stream probably would have broke, because the noise I would have made probably would have broke the stream, like the DNS segments when that stupid thing comes on. Like, your streams would have got fucked. That's the first thing. And the second thing was just the emotional turmoil from Harvey, the whole fucking Pew shtick of coming back, and then Russ being on whatever. So the comeback apparently, that's going to be a thing moving forward with them. So we'll see how long that shit lasts. So yeah, overall, wrapping things up, fantastic show, as Brian alluded to today, and as I said yesterday in the quick little post thing where we just chatted for a bit. Yeah, it was about 4 hours. It didn't feel like 4 hours, which is, and that's not even trying to be, whatever, nice, if you want to call it that. Like, that's legit. It legitimately did not feel like 4 hours, which is what I want, because I've done 4 hour streams before with OCW, and they felt very much like 4 hours, and I did not like that. Like, I just, like, thinking of fucking Jackson Montgomery versus Court Martial and the fucking monster truck mash bullshit and on Resolution Prime. No, this one didn't feel like 4 hours, so it's a job well done by the entire OCWFED community. So with that being said, thank you very much for all the guests who popped in. Thank you, everybody, for watching live on stream. This will go up probably tomorrow on the actual YouTube, but for now, it'll be posted on the thing. Thank everybody for showing up. Thank everybody for watching the other day. And we'll be back not this Friday, but the following Friday with Riot 616 rather. And probably more information on the Women's Super S Cup as it's coming. There's supposed to be something for February 3rd, but February 3rd I won't be around, so we're going to be doing that for Super S Cup on. You're welcome, Empress. We're doing the Super S Cup thing on the 4th. I guess to figure out who's going in which block, because the only person that's been announced has been Emp, and we still have between 7 or 9 other participants to add to those blocks. So we'll see what happens with that. That being said, thank you so much. We'll see you guys February 4th. God bless and good night and day. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.